So we have a bit of a weird one today. So something that I've been wanting to do since I saw a video, I think it was originally on Reddit, but it was linked in my Discord, about kinetic bolt of fragmentation. And someone kind of put like a proof of concept up of it hitting like a whole bunch of times at once. So I decided to go ahead and start working on that idea. It's potentially a little bit broken. So before I do anything else, I want to tell you this video is simply proof of concept. None of the gear is finalized. I don't even know if any of it's good. I'm working on a POB, a couple other things, but I just want you to see what we're talking about when I say this skill is a little bit broken. Now, ignore damage. My character is level 80 right now with not a proper tree, not a proper gear, not a proper anything. But I've set this up real quick, just so you can kind of see we're in a white tier 16 stagnation map. And I want you to watch two things here. If need be, you can go back and like look at this little section of the video slowed down, but I want you to watch Berserk, Rage, as well as just the screen in general. So we're gonna run up here and I am going to attack. And yeah, so that's what we're working with. Now, you might have noticed that Rage went absolutely to the top instantly, and as far as I can tell, on a much more difficult boss, which killed me because I have 3,000 life, you can sustain Berserk for like 10 plus seconds. It's pretty insane. Most of that has to do with this tincture here. Now, the interesting thing about this tincture is that the tincture itself, I don't actually think it's that broken, right? Currently, this is 18% chance to gain 1 rage when you hit a rare unique enemy. The thing about it is that this ability is hitting 50 plus times per attack. That's kind of where the brokenness of this mechanic comes in, I think. With this ability, the way that Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation works is that it has that line at the bottom which says multiple of these projectiles can hit the same target. Basically, any skill that says that can be massively abused. Now, this is pretty similar to a concept from last league, which is, you know, like Sniper's Mark, whatever ballista that was, and returning projectiles. So you take all of this stuff together and you just hit an absolutely absurd amount of times. It's actually kind of insane. Now, there is one downside as of right now that I think will be fixed with gear, because realistically, my character's not actually doing that much damage. I know it seems like I have a lot of gear, but my tree is very scuffed. I'm a crit build with precise technique at the moment. It's very scuffed. Ignore most of the damage here, but if we open up another random tier 16 white stagnation map, the clear theoretically should be okay here, but I just don't do any damage. The only reason that I'm even doing damage to bosses is because mechanically this skill is just absolutely disgusting, right? So the idea is that it still does cover the vast majority of the screen. I think my character is only hitting for like 50k right now though, or something. So the idea is that I do more damage to unique and rare mobs currently, as you can see when it starts happening there, than I do to normal or magic monsters. But the clear, as far as I could tell, whenever we actually do real damage, should be pretty good. Now you might notice that there's a little bit of rage that I'm getting up there, and you basically can use rage anytime you run into a rare monster that lives, you know, at all. I can turn Berserk on, and as long as that monster is alive, I will have Berserk, unless it lives for like 30 seconds or something like that. But you can kind of see. Theoretically, the damage should be more than fine once I actually have it doing, I don't know, even with like 50 projectiles hitting, my current character, which is Giga Scuffed, is only doing like 1 or 2 million DPS. However, as you'll see in the POB a little bit later, if I have it set it up correctly, we might be doing like 100 million or more. So we're going to jump to the boss right now, and I'm going to show you the proof of concept. Okay, so I've made a couple changes here, as said. Proof of concept here. We're using a tabula now. We have Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. I've got Chance to Poison and Returning Projectiles in the link. If you look here, my chance to poison is 100%. We have a Poison Berry Tincture so that all of my damage can poison. And the idea is that with no GMP, no extra projectiles, no anything, we are going to go see how many times I poison myself with one attack after I have applied my mark. So I'm going to do, let's take out mark on hit support so I can just cast this. This does mean that the mark will be a little bit stronger, which on like bosses and such, you'd probably take out mark on hit anyways. Let's go ahead and mark him and then attack. So that was one attack. And if you slow it down, you'll notice that it hit 63 times. Let's try that again real quick. So I'll put my auras on. I have destroyed my build, by the way, to get like poison chance and other stuff, so forgive me here. Go ahead and mark him and attack him as soon as he stops moving one time. 56 that time. This is without GMP in. I have only returning projectiles, chance to poison, kinetic bolt of fragmentation. There's nothing like absurd going on here. We have endless munitions, which is 2 additional projectiles. The base gem gives 2 additional projectiles. We have multi-shot, and we have a mastery here that gives 1 attacks fire and additional projectile. I think that's all of my projectiles right now. However, if I do go ahead and put GMP in, let's see what the number changes to. So this is assuming that I don't mess up again. It's anywhere from like seemingly 54 to like 64, but go ahead and mark, hit him, and it went to 72. So 4 additional projectiles got us anywhere from 10 to 20 more hits. I think with the current setup as is, each projectile is like 5 to 6 more hits. It does depend on your mark effect, and it does depend on your sniper's mark, which I probably will have to do the math later, but as you can see, we're hitting many, many times. Now, I'm not going to include a POB or any gear or anything like that for multiple reasons. One, the gem is not actually in POB, so I've had to simulate it, which you'll see down here where it says 50% less damage. The actual base damage of the attack is half of what the normal one in POB is. 50% less damage should mostly account for that. We've got 61% less damage because we're using returning projectiles. I have just used this to enable rage because I'm messing around with the tinctures and stuff like that. But we can sustain 50 rage on the target, absolutely no problem. Gale Force, of course. This is on Guardian Pinnacle boss. And with 40 kinetic bolts hitting, and you saw that it was like 55 to 65 in there, and more than that with a GMP, we're doing 115 million DPS. So yeah, you'll get another video from me, probably including a POB and stuff once I have finalized everything that I want to do here. I think potentially this might work really well on a budget setup. It depends on a couple of factors I'm gonna have to see. Piscator's is surprisingly good because we're adding a bunch of damage, but even a simple crafted one probably outscales it pretty quickly, so we're gonna have to see about that. But there is so much stuff in this league that is just absolutely absurdly busted that yeah, if you just look around a little bit, you'll find some absolutely crazy mechanics that are super abusable, that just give you unbelievable amounts of damage and other things. So remember, boys, if you enjoy this content, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in Rayclass. And I'll see you guys in the next video.